आरपी भैया,
जी भैया।
आप सेशन लाइव कर लेंगे?
आई डिड ऑलरेडी।
ओ ग्रेट, नाइस। सो देवेश भैया विल टेक अप आफ्टर यू ना?
यस यस। आई
मैं
एम
मीट
हियर अप टू 4।
आरपी भैया,
यस।
या मैं मीटिंग में ही हूँ देवेश।
आप सेशन लाइव कर लेंगे?
आई डिड ऑलरेडी।
ठीक है, इसको इसका वो कर दीजिए। देवेश भैया विल टेक अप आफ्टर यू ना? यूट्यूब म्यूट कर लीजिए
आई एम
जी।
हियर अप टू 4।
आरपी भैया,
यस।
या मैं मीटिंग में ही हूँ देवेश।
आप सेशन लाइव कर लेंगे?
आई डिड ऑलरेडी।
ठीक है, इसको वो कर दीजिए।
Am I audible, Bhaiya?
Yes, Didi, you're audible.
Was I audible earlier? No.
No, just now I heard your voice.
Okay, I tried to connect by a microphone, but I think it is not working.
No, this was audible. That was not.
Didi, your voice is low.
Is it better now?
Yeah, better, but it can be improved.
Okay, let me check.
So, Vanchana ji, can I start? Isha ji. So, namaste. Namaste and a very warm welcome to all the panelists and delegates for the afternoon session. So may I welcome Dr. Vanchana Singh ji, the moderator for the session, to take over the floor. Dr. Vanchana Singh, I will just briefly introduce about Dr. Vanchana Singh. She's a member of the NCC UHV AICT team. She's currently involved in UHV activities nationwide. She has made a very, very fruitful and long journey in this UHV path. She's a PhD from IIT Delhi in physics, and she has published several research papers of significance. I think I lost that slide, but I would continue speaking about Vanchana ji. She has been guiding and kind of hand-holding many of the new entrants into this, who are entering into the UHV journey, and has very, very successfully been able to share the content with many of us. So with this, Dr. Vanchana Singh ji, the floor is yours.
So, namaste everyone. I hope I'm clearly audible to everyone. Welcome to the session. I'm here to initiate the discussion as a moderator, and we have our esteemed panel over here discussing the flow of the session. So, we'll first have an introduction of our panelists, and then we'll have a quick UHV point of view on SDG vision and implementation, continued with the discussion with the panelists, followed by questions from delegates and concluding remarks. So with this, let me welcome our esteemed panel, starting with Dr. Ishrat Mira Mirzana ji, who is a professor in Mechanical Engineering Department at Mufkam Jam MJC College of Engineering and Technology, Hyderabad. She is the director of MJCET. She is holding a number of positions. She is the secretary IET Hyderabad local chapter and involved in teaching learning process in higher education for more than 24 years. Since 22 onwards, she is actively involved in UHV activities. Moving further, we have one of our panelists as Dr. Gopal Babu with 18 years of experience, especially in holistic development and value-based education, working for sustainable technology. He is an expert in AICT's Universal Human Value Committees and has contributed to value-based curriculum development and faculty programs, conducting numerous workshops at IIT, NIT, HPTU, AKTU, etc., voluntarily, all of them working on a pro bono. He has been awarded the ONCD, the Outstanding Contribution to National Development Award from the IIT Delhi Alumni Association in 2023 and honored by the Governor of UP for the efforts he has made in the field of value education. Moving ahead further, we have another panelist among us, Dr. Tara Prasanna Das ji, from Shiksha Anusandhan University, Odisha. He has more than 14 years of teaching experience and is associated in UHV activities since November 20. He has been working consistently towards value-based living and self-development as a co-explorer and contributing towards various nationwide activities of UHV. Another panelist among us, Dr. Deepa Ji Nair, who is a professor in civil engineering and her prime focus, her PhD work is in sustainable housing from Netherlands. She is also associated with UHV since 2018. Another important panelist with us is Dr. Jyoti Kulshresht, who is a dedicated educator having more than 23 years of experience and the UHV cell coordinator at Sharda University, Agra. Further, in the panel, we have Professor Archana Mirashiji, who is having a background of physics and with an inclination towards sustainability. She has been working for sustainable management of natural resources and nature conservation. She is associated with UHV since 2022 and is a continuous learner of UHV, trying to get more and more meaningfulness and connection with sustainable development. This is her recent area of work. Another panelist amongst us is Dr. Geeta Potarajuji with a management background from the Department of Business Management, Osmania University, Hyderabad, with an over 20 years of experience in development consulting. Her specialization includes governance and public policy. She has been focusing on more and more of value-based living to be the focus of her work. She has worked with a number of government organizations in South Asia, including Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal, and others. So, along with this, we have Supraja ji as one of our panelists amongst us. So, I would like to invite Supraja ji for putting forth the UHV perspective. Welcome, Supraja ji.
Thank you, Vanchana ji, for giving me this opportunity. So, Vanchana ji, should I share the screen from my end? Or?
Please go ahead. You can share the screen from your end. We would like to hear the UHV perspective from you. Most welcome.
Ji, Vanchana ji, I'm just presenting the screen from my end. Is my screen visible, Vanchana ji?
Ji, it is starting. Ji, please go ahead.
So, is it visible, ji? So today we will discuss upon the vision for addressing this SDG at the root level. So in our yesterday's discussion, we would able to see the need of addressing this SDG. So understanding and the human goal and the holistic vision for the human society at its core level is essential for achieving this SDG goal. So here we are trying to envisioning the human. My screen is not visible for me. Is it visible for all of you? Now it's visible for me. Thank you. Society is important. So if you see the vision for the human society, every individual has an aspiration for happiness, which we could able to achieve through this right understanding and right feeling. And in every individual, there is we require a good health, and in every family there should be a prosperity, and in the society there should be a fearlessness, and with the nature and environment there should be a mutual enrichment. So this is the vision for the human society. In this session, let us discuss by achieving this vision for the human society, how we can able to achieve this SDGs, 17 SDGs. In the emerging dilemmas and dichotomies is the lack of clear vision. So the dichotomy in removing poverty with undefined prosperity. One side, we are talking about the concept of removing poverty, while other side, we are striving for undefined prosperity. This creates a dichotomy in sustainable development. And this ambiguity often leads to social inequality and exclusion within the framework of economic globalization. So the researchers like Capra and Lucy highlighted how these issues become inherent feature of the pursuit of happiness without the clear definition. So it is important for us to understand what is prosperity. Again, the characterizing needs appropriately poses a significant challenge in sustainable development. It is essential for us to understand and identify the need, and is the need is limited or unlimited, these things to be understood. And the dichotomy in balancing economic, social, and environmental aspect is fundamental challenge. If you see the scenario, the withdrawal of US from the Kyoto Protocol in 2001 exemplifies the dichotomy faced in global environmental agreements. This shows that nations may prioritize economical concern over the environmental commitment, impacting the overall sustainability goals. And the hesitation in adopting sustainable consumption practice reflects the inertia in shifting the social norms towards more environmentally friendly behavior. So overcome this resistance required a comprehensive address the consumer behaviorism and industrial practice. Also, we need to work on the policy framework. And the paradox of their implementation may lead to increase the overall consumption that affects the environmental thing. And again, inherently unsustainable economic centric social structure, this unsustainable practice, and this hinders the progress towards a sustainable development. So addressing these structural issues needs to be prioritized, this long-term environmental thing and social well-being over where the current focus is more towards this short-term economic gains. And symptomatic nature of prevailing efforts towards a sustainable development often exhibits a symptom nature of focusing all these issues only at the surface level rather than tackling the root cause. So the true sustainability requires this holistic approach that considers interconnectedness between the social, economical, and environmental factor that leads to the long-lasting positive change. If you could see um, the current system, it's more focusing on materialistic worldview. The materialistic worldview is focusing the happiness. We can able to get the happiness through this materialistic thing, and the term development we call in the focus of materialistic thing, which is creating lot of issues. And we are into this cycle. We are into this loop, visioning this happiness and connecting the happiness and prosperity with the material and accumulating more and more and developing the technology and consuming lots of natural resources more and more, because thinking that more we have, more the prosperity will be, more we have, more the happiness will be. So again, there is a dissatisfaction in the life and psychological problems are increasing, Again, to ensure the happiness, we are trying to connect ourselves with the materialistic things. So this loop is there, and this is leading to unsustainable consumption. If we discard the present model of development, that is the focus only on the materialistic view, how else do we live? And if we continue, shall we at all live? So what is the way to come out of this loop? That let us see. So if we work on the human goal, one, that is through human education, the human education which is largely focusing on holistic and value-based education, then the people can able to develop the right understanding within what to be understood, the truth which is to be realized, and harmony in all four orders. And people can develop the right feeling within, the feeling of relationship, harmony, and love. And the people can able to develop the right skill, the skill for living in harmony. So by providing the human education is the base for all the other goals. So if we could able to bring the right understanding and right feeling in every individual through this human goal one, we could able to achieve SDG 4 and 5. And if we work on human goal 1 plus 2, that is the focus is on health in every individual. Now, the health is only connected with the body, but the feeling of self-regulation in the individual, if we try to focus on health, that could increase the health in every human being. And health here can be provided as a service in the society rather than thinking it's for the profit. So with this human goal, we could able to achieve good health and well-being in the human society. And by achieving the third, in every family to understand what is prosperity and to ensure the prosperity in the every family, if we try to achieve this particular human goal, then the SDG 1, 2, 8, 9, 12 can be realized. At present, the prosperity meaning is not clearly defined. So there is a lot of accumulation by any means, and there is a rich and poor dividend in the society. By if we could able to make the people to understand what is prosperity, then every ensure prosperity and able to provide a sustainable nature friendly production will be there, and there will be an equitable distribution among each other. There will not be a poor rich concept, and there will be a conscious consumption, and every single we consume that will be rightly utilized. I will be more responsible in utilizing the physical facility which I have. Through this, we could able to achieve there is no poverty and zero hunger, the decent work and economical growth. I'll be more responsible in my consumption, and industry, innovation, and infrastructure will be focusing on more nature-friendly products. And if we work on the human goal 4, that is the fearlessness in the society, by enabling trust, the trust in the family, state, nation, and the world, there will be a fearlessness and there will be peace and opportunity for all. With this, there will not be domination in the current society. We can able to see, because of more materialistic viewpoint, there is a domination and exploitation of the resource, and there is a fear in the society which leading to terrorism and war. By able to understand what is this trust, we could able to achieve this fearlessness in the society, through which we could able to realize SDG 10, 11, 16, and 17, that is reducing inequalities, sustainable city and communities. We can have a peace, justice, and strong institution and partnership for the goals. And with the fifth goal, human goal, like mutual enrichment with the natural environment, if you could able to understand the coexistence with the natural environment, we could able to produce a sustainable, nature-friendly product. And again, we will be consciously consuming what is a basic requirement, and also there will be a responsible usage with right utilization of every single physical facility we hold. So that in turn will help us to reach the sustainable goal, a clean water and sanitation, and affordable and clean energy, the climatic action, life below the water, and life on land. All these goals will be followed if we could able to understand we are coexistence with the nature. We will not mastery or exploit the nature. The resource provided by the nature will not be overused. So resource depletion or pollution will not be there. So if you could able to understand the interconnectedness with the human and the nature, this particular SDGs, all SDGs can be attained. For all these, the basis, the right understanding and right feeling within the human being. So the vision for the human society is these 5 goals. Through these 5 human goals, we could able to achieve the 17 SDG goals, which has been provided by UN SDGs. Thank you. Panchnaji, over to you.
Thank you, Suprajaji, for enlightening with the UHV perspective, the vision that you could put forth from the UHV point of view for all our panelists. And now we are open for the panel discussion with our panelists, putting forth the questions to our panelists. So with all this background that we could get from Suprajaji regarding the UHV point of view concerning the vision to address the SDGs at the root, which starts from working for comprehensive human goals, the 4 goals which are being put forth by Suprajaji. Now, let us, in the light of all this discussion, let us try to ensure our discussion surrounding these points. So let me put forth this question to our panelists who are over here, starting with Dr. Ishrat Meera Mirzana ji. So namaste Ishrat ji. As a panelist, you have gone through the discussion which was just put forth by Supraja ji. So with that, would you like to highlight what kind of social systems should be visualized to achieve the SDG goals? If possible, can you give some example?
Thank you, Vanchanaji, for giving me this opportunity to share my views about it. As presented by Suprajaji, now to achieve this SDG goals, the vision should be to have an integrated social system. And to understand this SDGs as with interconnectedness, rather than trying to see each of these SDGs separately. For example, if I talk about zero hunger, how is it this zero hunger possible, SDG 2? So when we talk about it, it starts with the production. So the production is related with the farmers. The farmers should be connected with the consumers, the market. And in between, if it is the farmers and consumers are not interconnected, but we have in between a channel. So because of this, it is like the SDG, the prosperity, understanding the right consumption, the right pricing, all these are lost. So that is the reason, like I say, that everything should be interconnected, so that when we say zero hunger, the production should be whatever production is being done by the farmers, right? Production, right consumption should be there, and utilization, and how it reaches the gender inequality, even in the farmers, though there is a reach, okay, but there is also a gender inequality in that. And the education about what should be the right price of the production that is being carried out. That means it's not just about the individuals, but the involvement of the policymakers, the governments, all this play a vital role. So I think the feeling of relationship, okay, the interconnectedness, all these are interrelated. Thereby, if we have a integrated approach rather than a piecemeal approach for SDG goals, then our social system should be reformed. So that is how I visualize this. And not just if we talk about the education system also, it is the same thing. Now, when we are talking about an education system, previously, like when we were having Gurukulas and all that, it was a target of only the knowledge transfer. But now the education system has also become a like a money earning system, wherein it is like talking about only materialistic perspective. So that means there should be there is no perspective as such. Why we are having this education? What is the purpose of education? That is not understood. So social reformation should come as to understand what is the purpose of it is. If the purpose is known, then only we can achieve the SDGs. So that is what I would like to convey from my behalf. Thank you. Over to you.
Nice to hear from you that an integrated approach where we connect all will work. So the vision needs to be accordingly, and the examples you could relate to. Maybe I would request Suprajaji also, if you would like to elaborate a little bit, what kind of social systems you visualize so that the SDGs can be achieved.
Namaste, Didi. To achieve this sustainable goal, it is very crucial. It's to visualize the social system. I feel that social system should be more inclusive, equitable, and participatory. And one such example that I could say for the social system that can help to achieve the SDG goal in the community-based cooperative model. In this model where the communities work together to address the local challenges, every local community can come up with their own, developing their own needs, and they can work together and they can promote the sustainable practices members of the community. And by putting up the by having the cooperation and sharing the resource among themselves, this will help to empower all the individual. And this model can, I feel that this model can contribute to achieve various SDGs that by sharing, there will not be a zero hunger, and by having their own resources, by promoting their local communities to produce their own resources, there will be no health issues. When we work for the profit-based community, there we will not consider the main thing. So when we work for our own resources, we will produce the product which is good for her health. So it is all interconnected. And for the quality education, for the well-being and unequal, all these should come from the community-based cooperative model, and it should address the local challenges by the local communities, is what I visualize, Didi.
Nice, Suprajaji. You talked about community-based models. In fact, at the root of it lies the comprehensive goals for the whole community when we look for common goals. So nice to hear from you. Maybe we'll further extend our discussion with Dr. Geeta Potarajuji. So Geeta ji, what in your opinion is the most important SDG and why we should be focusing on it at the root? Would you like to reflect on this?
Thank you very much, Vanchana ji. I would actually look at prioritizing education and health, which are very, very important, even when you're looking at UHV perspective and wanting to achieve the SDGs. The role of education becomes very, very important. So I would prioritize education and health. when it comes to education, I think I also link up with the previous question. Um, the most important thing here is access to education. That will kind of ease out many social issues and kind of create a level playing field. Access to education, again, there are two aspects to this. Access to education, the one which we are delivering on ground now, which is skill based, is also extremely skewed because people who cannot afford going into higher education systems are struggling hard to do it. But I would also raise the need for bringing in that kind of education, which is value-based skill education. So in education, all the the ground can be prepared for a fertile for developing a fertile level playing field for achieving SDGs. So I would think this is the best area where a lot of reforms can happen. And health is equally important because uh, health, when we talk about health, it is both physical health and mental health. So physical health is equally important, and access to health systems is a major issue, especially in countries like India and other places where we still have a lot of gap between haves and have-nots, and there are people who can access very good health care and people who are struggling to achieve it. So these two are the things that have to be. In fact, most of the governments keep this as a priority for themselves, but nothing much is delivered on ground. So according to me, these two are very important areas.
Ji. Nice, nice, Geeta ji. You could put forth that education and health hold high priority. And once we start looking and resolving them at the root, other SDGs are also interconnected and they are also able to, we are also able to achieve those SDGs. Very nice. Further taking up the opinion from Archana Mirasi ji. Namaste, Archana ji. What do you think, in your opinion, is the most important SDG, and how would you see that focusing on that will be able to address it at the root? What vision do you carry forward?
Ji, Didi, thank you. So for me, I feel that environmental protection is the most important SDG which has to be addressed to, because if we and our future generations have a good planet to live in, then the other things probably would be taken care of. And so I feel that that is the most important SDG as of now, which has to be addressed to, as we are also facing the climate impact, climate changes problems. So and then if we have to work at the root level, and as Supraja Didi has very nicely mentioned about the UHV perspective to meet the SDGs. Uh, so what I feel, and when I got exposed to the CHV contents, in that the relationship with the nature, and mainly the physical facilities, the need of the physical facilities, if the human being is able to define it properly, then the way the overconsumerism is happening as on today will be curb down. And so that is what I feel, rather.
Archana ji, you are probably muted. If you can unmute, please.
Yes, Didi. Couldn't you hear me at all?
No, we could hear you. Just a few seconds you were muted.
Acha. Okay. So I feel that this UHV perspective, as mentioned by Supraja Didi, and also when I have been exposed to UHV contents, I really felt that this universal human values, the understanding of the contents related to that, and further implementing those things in our daily living, will bring the change in everybody, in every individual, and if as per their understanding, of course, and that would probably will be able to address this particular SDG about the environmental protection at the root level. And overall also, this UHV being all encompassing kind of contents it has got. And so the SDGs, all of the SDGs, as has been mentioned by Supriya Didi, is getting addressed too. So for me, I feel that this UHV needs to be inculcated. UHV contents need to be spread over, and so all of the SDGs will be taken care of. That is what I feel. But yes, for me, environmental protection is the most important SDG which has to be addressed as of now.
Ji. Nice that you could put forth your opinion regarding environmental sustainability and concerns regarding the environment as one of the most important SDG. And we all can keep it open for ourselves to observe whether solving or looking forward to focusing on one SDG, would that really work? Or maybe a collateral approach where all the SDGs are simultaneously addressed by a more fundamental approach. That is something which we are exploring and we are trying to look forward to. So we'll continue this discussion so that we can find more meaningful ways out. Taking the question now to Jyoti Kulshrestha ji. Namaste Jyoti ji. So in your opinion, what should be the top priority for nations today to ensure the long-term success of the SDGs, so that we have a high impact rate, so that they can be achieved at the earliest? How would you like to reflect on this?
Namaste, Didi.
Ji.
Thanks for the nice question you forwarded to me. What I feel, the top priority of the nation, I think for the development of the economy and the social system, any nation is dependent on its the mode of production. So what type of mode of production we are following, the social system and the system, all over the system we can be maintained. So like that, in industrial economy, we were focusing on the family system. In agricultural economy, we were focusing on the family system, and industrialization process, the family system is going down. So what I feel the top priority should be the socialization of the nation is more important. Although economy is also important, but when we are going to socialize the system, we should very basically focus on the education system and the well-being of the nation. So health and the education should be, I think, the top priority of the nation. As I would like to quote our the well-known economist and Nobel laureate, the Amartya Sen, who defined the development as a process of expanding the real freedom that people enjoy. You know what he said in the development as freedom. In his capability approach, he said that our capabilities to lead the kind of lives we have a reason to value. So if we are getting developed in the materialistic way and no reason for life, then it will be, I don't think a nation, we can say a developed nation, and it will be long-term success for the SDGs. Momentary we can get some materialistic thing. So from freedom from hunger and ill health on the one hand, and the gender and income inequality and access to quality education on the other hand, will definitely leads to the human development. So nation should keep the top priorities on these issues, I think, for the long-term success.
Ji. Nice that you could connect these dots together and you could see that the long-term success will only work when there is coherence in approaching to these SDGs. And regarding this poverty, zero hunger, education, we can see the interconnectedness. Really nice. So maybe taking our discussion further to Tara Prasanna ji, what role do you see for education and capacity building, creating a sustainable vision for achieving the SDGs? Would you like to put forth your opinion on this?
जी, thank you. Namaste, Vanchana ji. Namaste to everyone. So, like we have discussed just now, like the previous speaker put up the point, the gaps, the interconnected points between different SDGs. So, if we look at the number of SDGs, SDG 4, which is talking about the education, and education being the, I should say, the backbone of any society or any revolution to come. So definitely the role of education is very important. And in the question two itself, looking at the priority of the important SDGs, we can see SDG 4 that education also gives higher priority, because we may look at the things, particularly what SDG 1 is talking about, no poverty, then SDG 2 talking about hunger. So similarly, SDG 14, 15 talking about life underwater, then life on land. So climatic change, SDGs, there are several things. So more or less we are covering entire all these discussions in different part of our education, but this education is somehow kind of book is kind or something which is not realizable or which you cannot implement. So if we can reform the education system where the education system based on direct observation with the nature, direct observation of the role of human being, direct observation of the society, and holistic perspective of all these viewpoints. And with that, when we are going to implement this technology, or we are going to use the technology to solve these issues with a holistic perspective, certainly it will bring a sustainable development. What we are talking about, this root problem of SDGs can be addressed with this education system. Because if you will see, for last 100 years, we are tremendously ahead in technology, but at the same time, if you see, the SDGs are there, there is no significant progress. What we discussed in the need. So if we can put the education system in a holistic education system, and by the virtue of which we are generating the next generation, having holistic perspectives toward the implementation of technology, not only in the individual living in the society, looking at nature into account, or broader perspective, I think it will certainly help, and it will certainly take to a different level of the entire existence. Ji. Thank you.
Ji. Nice, Tara Prasanna ji. You could see education to be playing a very promising role. In fact, education lies at the base. But yes, the holistic education can only ensure that it creates a sustainable vision. Else, the skill-dominated education system which we have currently is falling short. So nice that you are able to highlight this particular point for all of us and draw the attention. So really nice that we are able to collect all these points together. Further taking up our discussion in this current world which we are having, there are huge global disparities. That is something which we all can observe. So if Vijayashree ji would like to put forth her viewpoint that in the current global disparities which we see across in the development across all dimensions, can we actually create a unified vision to address the challenges which are being faced in different regions for achieving SDGs? Would you like to put forth your viewpoint regarding this? Vijayashree ji, are we able to reach you? Oh, probably I think there is some connectivity issue at the end of Vijayashree ji. So maybe I would like to take our discussion to Ishrat ji. Ishrat ji, would you like to put forth your opinion regarding this? Can we really create a unified vision to address various challenges seen across the globe?
Yes, this is what our uh, process is also about. That is international conference, which we are conducting, is also about having this all dimensions unified vision for addressing this challenge. Because when we are talking about SDGs, this SDGs have to be addressed at the root level, and this is where we are lacking. And when we are talking about a unified vision, the vision should be to have an approach at the community level. Okay. And because in at the global level we have different disparities. Each community is different. The geographical way and the weather, all there are different conditions. So based on the conditions, the local community problems have to be addressed. And based on this addressing only, we'll be able to visualize the real crux, or I can say at the root level, we can have the problem addressed, and that's how we'll be able to achieve the SDGs. So I think understanding the SDGs at the local level, because at the local level only we'll be able to have the interconnectedness and thereby the relationship, the feeling of belongingness for the problem identification and its solution is possible. So I think this is how we will be able to achieve the SDGs at different. So I think this is my perspective regarding the query that was put.
Nice to hear from you, Ishrat ji, that we need to look at the local perspectives. We have to take that into account, and we have to address the issues with that clarity. So these diversification or these disparities that we see around can only be dealt with the focus on locally solving the issues to begin with. So for example, instead of focusing on getting the exotic vegetables to a particular location where they are not actually grown, focusing on the real issue where the local crop can feed the people that way, of course. So what you are suggesting is really nice. And with this, maybe we can further have our discussion regarding this query, that how the role of technology, the innovation can actually help us in transforming our approach to solve the SDG related challenges. So let me put forth this to Archana ji, if you would like to put forth your opinion on this.
Yes, Sidi. Definitely there is a role of technology and innovation which will transform our approach to solve the SDG related challenges. Although the technological development, as Tara Bhaiya has mentioned, that there is a tremendous development in the technology, and in spite of that, the SDGs have been not reached. The reason is that the technology and innovation which has been made so far, it is not the with a holistic perspective. Technology and innovations are generally made for increase in the economical growth, and the technologies which have got developed, they will lead to the comfort. They are more towards the comfort and the entertainment and the other aspects which are not much required for a human being to live. And so, if the technology and innovation, which is being done with a holistic perspective, where at least the basic challenges, basic things related to sustainability development goals are being addressed, then that will go more meaningful. So, and furthermore, it should be more of a sustainable technology, because if there are certain technologies, like even if we are having AI and the things like that, and these are very energy, and there are so many energy intensive technologies also. So again, in the energy crisis, there will be a disparity that not all of the things will be addressed to, not all of the requirements of the human, people will be addressed to. So for that reason, the holistic perspective is much needed. And for example, there is one course nowadays, it has been included in most of the curricula, and that is design thinking and idea lab. So that's a really a good approach, a good thing which has been included in the curriculum. And it talks about the empathy. So when we talk about empathy, then empathizing with the customer, but customer himself is not aware of what is his exactly the need. Then even if we are introducing such kind of design thinking and idea lab courses, it would not be that meaningful. And that's why, if empathy, the right meaning of empathy, if it is being understood, then there will be the technology and innovation can actually be really meaningful in transforming the approach, which will solve the SDG related challenges. So again, over here, I would like to impress upon that the empathy and the other aspects, which the things which are the contents which are related to universal human values, can really be very important, or can really inculcate such kind of approaches, so that the technology and innovation which are coming up will be really useful in transformation. So that is from my side.
Ji. Nice to hear from you that the UHV approach guiding the role of technology and innovation can really lead to solutions which are going to be long lasting, which will actually put up these SDGs to be fulfilled within the real timelines. Really nice to hear from you. And before taking ahead to the concluding remarks, Tara Prasanna ji would like to add something, I think. So
Okay.
welcome, Tara Prasanna ji.
Yeah, thank you once again for giving me this opportunity. In fact, like what Archana ji was saying about implementation of technology, even we also discussed on that. So if we will look deeply to all the SDGs, somewhere all these development goals, if we'll think of, that is man-made, isn't it? If you look at the poverty or hunger or climatic issue or whatever degradation we are seeing, somewhere due to the that those are human effort. And if we see the development of technology, like the nuclear power, which is the enormous power, can give continuous power supply to the entire earth as much needed. But implementation varies country to country, and we know what the it's a threat now for the entire existence. So means, of course, the innovation and technology is there, and if you look at the number of patents, products, technology, they are coming like anything with inclusion of AI. But one thing, if I will stress upon, if we have any technology where we can see the inside of the human being, the consciousness of the human being, or we can explore into means within or inside of consciousness of any individual, and we can develop this holistic perspective or viewpoint, then only even we may not be having very developed technology, we can come up with things. So that's what I was trying to stress upon. Even simple things, poverty maybe more in cities, or more in in the developed area. You may see slums are developed right across the main town. But when you see, go to the village, when people are living with relationship, living with understanding, and more work they do upon their consciousness rather. So it is not, the situation is quite different. So even I suggest, whatever technology innovation we can think of on particularly consciousness, human consciousness, which is the booster to take any generation ahead. If we can work upon that, I just wanted to add that. Thank you. Vanchana.
So throughout this hour, we had a very fruitful discussion where we tried to envision the approach to addressing the SDGs. So each one of us tried to reiterate again and again that only by looking at the SDGs in a piecemeal approach cannot really work, and we need to have an integrated approach. So throughout this discussion, we have been able to find out meaningful insights and visions for ourselves, talking of consciousness, talking of interconnectedness, talking of the collective approach where each one can work together in coherence despite having global disparities, despite looking for the kind of solutions we have been trying till date, orienting our educational institutes with a holistic point of view, all that together. So, with this, we are towards the end of our session. And if somebody would like to have one or two quick questions with our esteemed panelists, they're most welcome to put forth those questions before we finally conclude with the session, taking time into account. So, any of our delegates, any of our attendees over here, if they have some questions with our panelists, they're most welcome to seek those questions. So, since there are no questions at this very moment, we would meet once again to continue our discussion. Day one, we talked about the need for addressing SDGs at the root. Today, we have tried to understand the vision to address the SDGs at the root, all what approaches we need to take, and how we need to integrate this approach in our own living, value-based living, working for a humane society where we work for comprehensive human goals, starting from right understanding, right feeling at the level of every individual, moving on to feeling of prosperity at the level of every family, working towards health, and then further taking it up to trust, fearlessness at the level of society, and mutual prosperity and enrichment at the level of this nature and existence. So, with all this, I would like to thank all the panelists on behalf of the whole team over here. Your discussions have been very meaningful and fruitful, and it has given each one of us more work to reflect on, to think on. So, with this, I thank everyone to be part of this panel discussion, and we will once again carry forward our discussion on day 3, where we'll talk about the implementation. So, with this, I would say namaste from my end, and we'll meet again. And there are other panel discussions and other rooms where the institutional sharings and individual sharings are going to be held. So I'll request all delegates over here that they can go back to the lobby and join those sessions. There's a short half an hour break, and after that, the sessions will continue. Namaste, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste, Vanchana Didi. Namaste to everyone.
Thank you.
नमस्ते दीदी.
And
भैया वीडियो हमारा ऑन नहीं हो पा रहा था.
we'll discuss the reviews in a meeting on Monday, I think. Everyone can take a note of what shortcomings were there and what we can improve.
Yeah.